Well, good afternoon to you, Alicia, and good afternoon to the viewers at home. Well, certainly this officially wraps the campaign trail of different political parties, which we have seen leading to this day in particular. Different political parties crisscrossing all 17 wards here in Nquthu in northern KwaZulu-Natal, where a by-election will be held on Wednesday. But tomorrow, Alicia, we will have what is known as special votes. Perhaps just to outline the situation in this municipality. This was the only municipality which failed to constitute a council after the provincial, after the national local government elections, which then led to the provincial government dissolving this municipality. The IFP in the previous local government elections had obtained about 15 seats, with the ANC obtaining 14, and then the EFF as well as the Democratic Alliance each won 1 seat in this particular council. Alicia, a lot of promises that the CIC of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Mr. Julius Malema, has made to these residents of Nquthu, promising them that the EFF is willing to go house to house, door to door, to get the feel of what the people in this area are basically complaining about. And one of the issues that residents have been raising throughout this campaign is the issue of water in this area, and the issue basically of unemployment, the youth unemployment being the main factor in these elections. Also, what is of perhaps interest to people was actually hearing the CIC of the Economic Freedom Fighters saying that even if residents in this area do not trust the EFF, they can actually vote for the IFP or whichever opposition party, but not the ANC, because he's saying that the voters in this particular municipality must send a strong message to the ANC that corruption and maladministration can no longer be accepted by residents in this area. Alicia.
All right, and Simphiwe, I know that, of course, Nquthu is still relatively a large rural area in KwaZulu-Natal, but do tell us, from judging from what you've seen and also the election campaigns and people coming out in support of their parties, just how big is the EFF support in the area, and is it growing?
All right. Well, Alicia, as I've said before, that the EFF in the previous elections had won at least 1 seat in this municipality. One could perhaps argue that they don't have much muscle in terms of the comparison with other political parties. But what is key, Alicia, is the fact that what the IEC has rather unveiled to us at this moment is that 5,000 more registered voters have actually been captured. So in the previous elections, about 76,000 voters had registered, but now an additional 5,000, which brings the number to actually 51,000. And what the EFF therefore is saying is that they want to capitalize on that vote that has seemingly increased from members of the community here. And also, Alicia, depending on the performance of the Economic Freedom Fighters, this will perhaps pave the way for the IFP, which is seen as the party that is likely to win if you take into consideration the previous performance by the IFP.
All right, now let's talk about this, Simphiwe. I know that you did mention that the special votes are going to be cast. Do tell us, the election is in a couple of days. Looking in the area, walking about, do you see everything in place and ready for the elections? Because we heard yesterday from Nquthu saying that these elections are going to be very critical and they won't in any way, of course, be tampered with, because they're going to be using a very specialized technological tool to capture those votes. Talk to us about that.
All right. Well, Alicia, certainly this by-election has seen an unprecedented campaign trail by different political parties. If I can just mention to you that at least 5 leaders of the top 6 have visited this particular area, including President Jacob Zuma yesterday, and before then it was the Deputy President of the ANC, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, who was accompanied by the chairperson of the ANC, Ms. Baleka Mbete. Well, what the leader of the EFF, Mr. Julius Malema, is saying to these people here is that the whole country is closely watching the outcome of what will come from these elections, as this will perhaps give an indication of what is to come in 2019. And also, Alicia, what is important also that Mr. Malema had mentioned during his address to the residents here is that they are willing to work with other political parties, different political parties, but what they are not going to do is to work with the ANC.
All right, Simphiwe, I'm going to leave it there. I can see you struggling with sound there with the crowd behind you, but thank you so much for that update. That is our report on the scene. Simphiwe Makhanya joining us live from Nquthu at the EFF's final campaign day rally taking place right there in northern KwaZulu-Natal.